There's no greater feeling in Snap than pulling off one of these masterpieces. Perfection. So listen, powerful card combos are arguably just as important as learning the decks in Marvel Snap. Not just for you, but also to know what the opponent is about to play against you and you can prepare yourself. Listen, today's video is not your grandmother's combo guide.
I don't know any of them.
All right, I'm not going to hit you with the Odin and White Tigers. We've got some serious spicy combos that you probably don't know. My goal is for you to learn at least one card combo that you can walk away with and utilize that you didn't know before watching today's video. Let's go ahead and start with the basics, the bread and butter combos, if you will, of Marvel Snap. The ones that your enemies are going to be referring to the most and the ones you'll probably see most often. Now, these are going to be the main combos that are definitely played a lot from Pool 1 to Pool 3. Let's quickly run through these basics. We've got Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur for the obvious high-powered dino synergy. The Sunspot Infinite combo that is all too familiar. If they skip turn 5, you can expect this one. We have Death Wave, which is probably the most busted combo at the moment that you could put into virtually any deck. The goal is to play Wave on 5, Death will be for free, and then you could play any other card on turn 6. We have the Black Panther in a one-lane combo. If you see Black Panther on turn 5, you can expect an Arnim Zola to clone him to 2 other locations. Storm followed up by Jessica Jones. This is obviously a very basic combo as well that you'll see a ton. We've got Move Cards and Heimdall. Don't put a lot of work into the rightmost lane. Work on the right and middle to go ahead and secure the victory. Next up, we've got the Discard Classics, Sif and Ghost Rider to discard your high-power card and follow it up by Ghost Rider. Colleen Wing and Swarm to flood the field. Dracula and Apocalypse is one you'll often see as well, and you can check up above in the discard video to see how to utilize these. We've got the recently nerfed but still amazing Angela. You can play one-cost cards like Nightcrawler or play Iron Fist to continue stacking up the power on one of the best 2-cost cards in all of Snap. And then Bishop and Mysterio, you should be familiar with by now. It gives Bishop 3 extra power along with playing Mysterio's 4 power card. So those are the basics, the ones that you should know by now, the ones you'll see more often than not. But let's go ahead and move to more higher level of play and talk about card-specific combos. Now, if you're looking for the graphics on today's video, here's my Twitter. I'll be posting them all on there tomorrow. Let's start with Zero. All the cards you see here combine perfectly with Zero. There's probably more out there as well, but these are the main offenders that if you see Zero, you can expect some of these cards to follow. You can utilize Ebony Maw in him for just quick power early on. Typhoid and Red Skull are just the bare minimum, just high power plays without the cons that the cards come with. Destroyer. You can also be playing him on turn 6 if you play Zero on the last card on turn 5. And then the newly Atuma is a card that you can also utilize. I think Zero decks are rising in the meta, and you can expect to see more of them soon. Now, look, we can't have a busted combo guide without including our boy Wong. Let's talk about Wong combos. Now, Wong is a little bit easier to interfere with for the opponent. You can shut it down with other cards like Enchantress. You can move cards. There's a lot of ways to get rid of these combos, but if you can pull them off, they're absolutely disgusting. And we'll talk about better ways to do that here in a bit. Looking at these Wong combos, of course, they can all utilize Mystique for much better payoff. My favorite of probably the bunch is Gambit. I think getting rid of the entire board can sometimes just single-handedly win you the game. Ironheart is there for just extreme amounts of bonuses, as well as the new appointed Silver Surfer. We have the new Luke Cage and Hazmat. This is one that's going to slowly start trickling to just ruin your day. Luke Cage stops your cards from getting any negative power. So by playing Hazmat into a Wong combo, you're probably looking at a W if you can pull all the cards together. We've got a White Tiger who you can throw on the Wong Mystique combo. And you can just be the Tiger King, guys. Just completely flood the field with these 7-power Tigers. Super strong, but usually you can see it coming. And then you can always follow these up by Odin, of course, just for more craziness. And then other on-reveal favorites are Dr. Doom for just tons of Doom bots. And of course, Spectrum to get big ongoing power out late on turn 6. Now, my best advice for Wong combos is just to include it in your deck as another win condition. You don't want to solely rely on a Wong combo for your entire deck strategy, but certainly the more you use them, the better you'll get to avoid your opponent disrupting it. And one way I like to do this that I don't see at all played enough is Invisible Woman. I think she's a fantastic card because she's mostly tied to Hela. People think Hela is going to be why Invisible Woman is on the board. However, you can hide some strong combos to take your opponents by surprise. With Invisible Woman, of course, the Wong combos we just talked about all follow up so perfectly, especially ones like the Spectrum, because, again, Invisible Woman is an ongoing card. We have Kingpin and the Arrow Magneto Juggernaut combo. Kingpin is a card that you do have to play pretty early before at least turn 6. And oftentimes your opponent, they're going to fill that lane. You're not going to get the advantage of getting some strong, crazy turn 6 swings. But by hiding Kingpin, that's when you can play the Magneto Arrow to move cards over and destroy whatever they had. Now next, for another Wong special, I love to play Arnim Zola underneath Invisible Woman to go ahead and play a huge turn 6 that they're just not expecting. And you've got to have the right board space. It takes some time to figure this one out. But you can hide, Black Panther, of course. But you can hide Shang-Chi. You can get 2 Shang-Chis to the other locations and just completely abandon the one location they think you're going all in on. That's definitely one that I like a lot. You can also utilize cards like Ebony Maw and not get hit with that negative ability. Also, of course, Discard and Hela is going to work perfect with Invisible Woman, and I'll have a deck on her later. Let's now continue on with some spicy control combos. These are a lot of fun if you like control decks, and even if you don't, they still work extremely well. And you're definitely going to see these more often than not. First, we got some more killer ones that you may not use now. We've got Rescue that can be used with a ton of different cards to best utilize her ability. Rescue Professor X is almost always a lane winner by itself. Love to use that combo a lot in my gameplay. Captain Marvel is a card that will be moving away from Rescue anyway, so utilizing her on top of Rescue is also very advantageous. Jessica Jones is an obvious, and Vision you can move on turn 6. So again, playing that on top of the 4-cost Rescue is pretty dang good for the value you get. Now, another staple combo I don't see nearly enough if you like control is playing Spider-Man on turn 4 on a lane that they have not committed to whatsoever. And then you just play Professor X. That's a guarantee win, and if you don't have Daredevil, that's one way to get it done. And if we're being honest, we all just want to use Spider-Man more because, Spider-Man. Let's move to Daredevil for some more obvious combos, but clearly all these work with him as well. Gamora is some of the best value you're going to get on turn 5 with Daredevil. Hobgoblin to know exactly what lane to play him in, as well as Arrow to shift cards or whatever strategy they were trying to do. And then Professor X for the clear staple Daredevil combo. Now, how about combos that people use less often, right? The ones that you should be using to truly take your opponent by surprise. First of all, we've got the Iceman, Scorpion, Disruption combo. I don't see this nearly enough. I play against it, but again, I think it can be more widely spread. Both are pull 2 cards, and the opening is just freaking devastating, man. Another combo I don't see nearly enough is Hood followed by Viper. Essentially, you get a Green Goblin, a 1/6 Hood, and then you also have Viper on the board. Absolutely disgusting. You definitely need the right cards to pull it off, but your opponent's done if they get hit with this one early on. Now, another combo I don't see often is Omega Red, Iron Man, and Onslaught. This combo is insane. It stacks up a lot of power on just one lane, but if you have a good turns 1 through 3, this thing is devastating, man. 4, 5, 6, you got a lot of power on one lane, and then you spread more power to the others. This is one that definitely you should be utilizing if you do have Omega Red and you like the way it works. Some other combos that I like, obviously, you're going to be seeing the Hazmat Luke Cage like we talked about before. And then, of course, our blue sexy lady. Now, yes, we see her play behind Wong, but follow her up behind Iron Man and Devil Dinosaur for some insane power. Electro and Carnage. I talk about this one a lot in my ramp deck guide up above, but Electro is awesome. And he's even better if you eat him up with Carnage or get rid of him in any capacity for more power for some late turn plays. Moving on to the last couple on the list with the Silver Surfer newly to the game. I've been loving Morbius, followed by Mystique, and then you lay down Silver Surfer on the last turn of the game, followed by some discard options that are 3 cost. Absolutely filthy. And then Brood, of course, followed by Surfer is, at this point, a staple, and I'm probably going to move that up to common combos here in about a month. Now let's go ahead and end this video with some killer combos that require a lot of the new cards, but man, they're filthy. They are situational, but they can be a lot of fun and completely take your opponent by surprise. Of course, my favorite of all of these being the huge play on turn 5. That is Iron Fist and Spider-Man. And then you play Galactus on an empty lane. It's over. You just shut them down. They can play literally nothing. And as long as they haven't played something where you have Galactus's 3 power and there's only, 1 or 2 on that other lane, Top that off with something like Death, you're going to win the game. Now, another brutal one that is just awesome is a Doc followed by Heimdall. Now, Heimdall doesn't get played enough outside of move decks, but this combo, man, you play Doc and then you move Doc and Heimdall to another lane or whatever cards you might have had there. You pulled everything the opponent was going to do anyway, and then you screw them. Perfectly toxic. Like, if you play this one, let me know how you liked it. And then lastly, we've got Valkyrie in a Cerebro 3 combo. You can see my video pinned up above for that one as well. And Shuri Hobgoblin Galactus is absolutely filthy. You're going to send a -16 to the other side, and it's GG. So those are the combos today. Hopefully you can take away at least one to start plug and playing into the different decks in Marvel Snap. There's some other obvious ones that I've left off the list, but if you've got a spicy one, let the community know down below. I'll be responding, even pinning the top one that I like. I want to see what you guys have come up with creativity-wise for some insane card combos. Again, the Wave Death one is probably easily the best, most consistent plug-and-play combo. And you can just add to that with She-Hulk or Arnim Zola Death. There's a lot you could do there, so if you haven't done that, start doing it until they nerf it. I hope you guys have a great one and enjoyed this video. If you like videos like this one, let me know by liking today's video. It helps out a ton. And if you haven't already, join the Snap community by subscribing today. We'll see you tomorrow, and happy snapping.